It's hard when you have a job and you come home and you're fucking tired and you still have to work on another thing. You're like, ugh. I tell everyone that wants to start businesses, you're better off if you want an easy life, get a good paying job. You clock in, you clock out, you go home, pay your bills, maybe get a dog, start a family. You'll live a good life, save some money. You'll be rich by the time you're old. If you want an extraordinary life, it's gonna be fucking difficult.
How bad do you want it? Be honest. Do you actually want to win, or do you just like the idea? Are you willing to put in the work, the blood, the sweat, the tears to make it happen? Or are you just lying to yourself? How bad do you want it? And how far are you willing to go to change your life? Are you willing to die for it? Are you ready for sleepless, lonely nights? Being judged, misunderstood, hated? Because that's what it takes. So ask yourself, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, my name is Rene, and I document my entrepreneur journey, my life, and everything in between, and I just want to share information I've learned along the way. The reason that I picked this topic for today's video is because I think about this a lot. In my span of 3 years of helping people and coaching people and teaching people how to make money, I realized that it's not really up to me if they make money. It's more up to them. It's how bad they want it. And when you ask anyone, they almost always say, oh, I want it a lot, I want it a lot. They claim they do, but they don't necessarily want to succeed. When I say it, I'm talking about financial success. I'm talking about your goals, right? It might be your health or your fitness journey. It could be a relationship goal. All of these goals, how bad do you want it? Because most people say when they make a goal, they set a goal, they might want it, but they don't want it that bad because they quit very easily or they're discouraged from pursuing it very, very easily. In fact, this weekend, I put something on my social media and I asked people, what is stopping you from starting a business? Because here's the truth. If you want something bad enough, you will find a way to do it. That's what I did. I had no mentors, I had no guidance, I had no father figure in my life, but I wanted something bad enough that I was willing to do anything to get it. And I did everything to pursue it. Let's get right into it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz before we get started. I like making these videos. I hope they're being very helpful. I've been getting good feedback on them. So make sure you like, show the love, and I appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. I asked people what was stopping them. Because again, if you want it bad enough, nothing's gonna stop you. And this is what's frustrating to me. Someone said, I don't know where to start. If you want something that bad and you don't know where to start, are you gonna allow that to stop you? And this is what I mean when I ask you how bad you want it. And you're gonna hear that a lot throughout the course of this video because I want it to sink into your head that you probably don't want something bad enough. If you don't have something, it's probably because you don't want it bad enough. Here's the truth. If you want something bad enough, you're gonna find a way to start. In most cases, going on Google, going on YouTube, and finding out what the first steps are the best ways to start. Starting is half the battle. No one's gonna give you the clear directional path line to wherever you wanna go, right? Like you can buy a course if you're willing to spend money and risk your own money, but again, most people don't want it bad enough, so they're not willing to spend money on a course to learn where to start. You have YouTube and Google as free resources, but it's just a little more sporadic. And most people don't want it bad enough, so they're not willing to put the work in. They're scared to take a risk because they don't want it bad enough. The real answer to that, I don't know where to start, is to just start. It sounds like dumb. It sounds like almost like a back out answer, but it's true. If you don't know where to start, just start doing things, anything. Let's say I want to start an e-commerce store. Okay, I Google it. What do you have to do? You have to get a Shopify store, Facebook ads, Google ads. I would just start. I would Google how to start a Shopify store, how to design a Shopify store. I would Google how to use Facebook ads. I would go on YouTube, look up videos of people actually doing it. That's where you start. You might not always win. You might lose. In fact, you're probably going to lose. I lost a lot in my life, but I started and it was half the battle. And once you start, you're going to keep going until you make enough progress to get to where you want to go. If I want to learn how to play piano, I don't say I don't know where to start. No, I go on YouTube and I look up how to play piano, beginner's lesson. If I want to learn how to build a social media marketing agency, I look how to start a social media marketing agency. You can put that on YouTube, you can put that on Google. This I don't know where to start is a terrible excuse because it just means you're lazy and you don't really want it. Next question, and this one's from Isan Hassan, says, tell us the first step with no money and no possible connections. And I think this is a little bit of a better question. It's almost the same thing, but it's a little bit better because he does have almost more valid reasons. If I have no money and no connections, where do I start? Here's the beautiful part about the internet. You don't need money. You don't need connections. In the past, that might have been how it was. But now in today's world, when you have the internet, you can do things for free. Offering a service is free, and you could offer a ton of different services. You could offer social media marketing. You can drop ship your products so you don't have any actual inventory. There's ways to start without money, and there's ways to start without connections. Obviously, all this stuff helps, but you can do it without that. Again, it's the same thing. You just have to look it up and just start. Once you start, you can learn, you can make more money, you can make more connections. Because the truth is, when you're rich, it's easier to make connections. And when you have money, it's easier to make money. It's almost this messed up thing. The first $100, the first 100 grand is the hardest. But once you make that, you have the money and you can make the connections. So you have to break through that first ceiling. And once you do that, the rest comes easy. But the only way you do that is by starting. Shelby asks, realistically, how much capital does one need to start a business? Shelby, that's a great question. Ultimately, it depends on what kind of business. Because there's different business models. Some cost zero. Some might cost a lot of money. If I want to start a tech company, I need a lot of money, more money than I have now. But if I want to start a dropshipping store or a social media marketing agency, it costs very, very little. You can do it with anywhere from $0 to $500 to get started with one of those businesses. So what you would have to do is Google low capital startup businesses, and you'll find dropshipping, selling a service like social media marketing or copywriting, email marketing, ton of different things out there. You could get into real estate, stock trading. I feel like I talk about this in a lot of my other videos, but you have to find a low capital business and start with one of those. And then you have businesses in the middle, and these businesses could be like a speaker business and you have to order speakers beforehand, or Amazon FBA where you have to order inventory. Those businesses in the middle could cost anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. Really, it ranges. You could start a business with zero, and some businesses are gonna cost $1 million. It really just depends. So realistically, you don't need any capital to start, but it just depends on what kind of business you do want to start. One more thing I wanted to talk about on this video is just overall personal development. I think if you want something bad enough, you are willing to work on yourself to get it. Again, whether it's your fitness goals, whether it's your finance goals, whether it's making money, whether it's dating someone, all of these things require you to want it bad enough. A great example, I used to be really skinny. You might see it in the thumbnail. I'll put a picture right here. I used to be really skinny, and at the time, I never really wanted to be the strongest guy ever. I wanted to play sports and be athletic, but I never wanted to be the strongest guy ever. But I didn't want to be healthy either. I didn't want to work out enough. I always told myself, oh, I want a six-pack and I want to be this buff guy, but I didn't want it bad enough. And until this clicked in my head where there's a difference between wanting something and needing something, I never worked out. That's why I was so skinny, as you can see in that picture. I was really skinny because I didn't want it bad enough. Again, something clicked in my head, and this is almost around the time when I started making money. I realized I have to need things, not want them. A lot of people want something, but they're okay with not having it. And that's why they're okay with being lazy. They're okay with chilling. They're okay with not starting because they don't want it bad enough. But when you need something, you don't want it, you need it, it's a whole different story because you're willing to do anything to get it. This is kind of what I look like now after needing it. And I wanted it bad enough. I put in the effort and I made the change. Same goes for my finances. I was a broke kid doing nothing with my life, but I knew that I needed it. I didn't just want it, I needed it. I was willing to wake up early. I was willing to go to bed late. I was willing to do things I didn't want to do. I was willing to do research and figure it out. I wasn't wasting any time. That's how you know you want something, when you're not wasting any time, when you're using every second of your day thinking about it, wanting to do it, figuring out ways to do it. When it comes to you guys and making money, doing all this stuff, start asking yourself how bad you actually want it. Is it something you need, or is it something that would be nice to have, but you're not willing to put the work in? Because after working with a ton of people, I realized it's not really up to me, it's up to them. And I still see it every day in this group. I have a private training group, by the way, so you can click this link here, go to this private training group, learn one-on-one from a coach how to build a business. That's the craziest part about this. You have people that join this group, make $30,000 in 1 month, and you have people that join and quit 2 months later because it's too hard, because they don't want it bad enough. And they'll justify it by making an excuse, and they'll say something along the lines of, oh, I just don't have the time, I'm focusing on something else. And guess what? 6 months later, they're still broke, they're still in that same spot, they're not really doing anything to change their life because they don't want it bad enough. They're not willing to put the work in. All the resources are there. All you have to do is search them out. All you have to do is want it bad enough. So the secret to success really just wanting something bad enough, making the most out of everything. And that's my message for you guys today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if this helped you, if this was something you enjoyed. So that's it for this week, guys. Let me know in the comments topics that you want me to cover so I can make some videos about them. I'm enjoying this format a little bit more where I just look into the camera and talk my shit because it's so much fun. But other than that, you know the drill. As always, love you guys.